Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level.
Hello, Internet, and welcome back, or welcome to Indie Please I Details, episode 11. Won't say if you speak French, I think that's French.
I would just say, 1-1 instead.
You say 1-1-4-4. My name's King, one of Half Level 2 Gamers. Hey, no, Tom, the other Half Level 2 Gamers. How you doing today, Tom?
I'm alright, man.
We've been having a few heated discussions.
Yeah, we're
this
already
week.
arguing this morning after Paris.
Get ready for the Codename episode. I'm sure I'm going to yell at him a few times.
Yes.
I might yell at you some of this stuff too. Who
That's
knows?
fine. You can yell at me.
I'm just in a yelly mood. I yelled at a few people last night. It's fine. It's okay. I got angry.
So today, not today, but yesterday,
as of recording,
was Paris Games Week, and we have a
great.
whole bunch of stuff in the world of indie and VR, which is where we live. So what about the indie?
Let's start. Indie Please I Details is our weekly dip into the world of indie games and indie developers, where we discuss the news, and there's a lot of it because of fucking Paris Games Week. Thank God. And our indie excursions throughout the week. Topping it all off with a topic of discussion that you can join down in the comments below. You can join us and listen to us on your favorite or our favorite podcast services, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. I don't know, I need to find a new one. I need somebody to find me a new one because I hate the iOS 11 podcast app. It's garbage. I loved it before. It's the way I have it laid out.
You heard the man, find him a podcast
The way it's laid out, I don't like it. Or you can watch our lovely faces on YouTube at level2gamers.com. You can continue discussion, what is it, online, off-air?
Off-air, but online.
By hitting us up on Twitter at level2gamersstl or in Discord, description down below. Also, Discord, the little disclaimer, if you have Destiny 2, play with us. That's how we make games happen a lot of times just for Destiny, because all of us have it right now, or Overwatch is the other big one, or Rocket League, or whatever it may be. But, Indie Please I Details. Let's go into detail number 1. You ready for this one? Sure. And this is one I think Sony needs to do, and I was telling you this before. Mm-hmm. Sony needs to do 2 things with this. Gifted games on Xbox One don't expire, can be regifted if receipt already owns them.
Recipient.
If the person who's getting the game already owns them.
If the receipt owned them, that would be a whole weird paradox.
So, first of all, I think Sony needs to add gifted games, because I buy everything digitally. I want games digitally. Steam does it. Microsoft does it.
I mean, you can buy those little cards that you can scrub off and redeem, but
you can't guarantee. I wish you could just, developers give you codes. Why can't you just buy a code?
Yeah.
Even if it's just I want to purchase a code for this game.
I wonder if it's just hard to generate,
It shouldn't be. It's just a random number and letter generator.
I wouldn't think so either, but I don't know. It just, it seems rife maybe for some level of corruption, although I don't think it's happened so far on Steam or anything like that. We were talking about how Steam has implemented that for a while, and it was a really cool thing that if you did play games with someone on Steam... And you could see people's wish list.
That's the other thing. There's been times a game will go on sale, and it's it's on their wish list. I'll buy it for them so they can have it.
That would be neat.
So this is from DualShockers. With the addition of game gifting on Xbox One, at least for insiders for now, there have been a few questions hovering around in the community, and corporate vice president Xbox, I'm assuming that's supposed to say of Xbox, and Windows gaming platform, Mike Ibarra, took to Twitter to answer. First of all, if you gift a game token to a friend who doesn't check their messages very often, like me, you don't need to worry about them missing on the gift due to expiration, simply because the gifted tokens don't expire.
That's great.
That is awesome. Check your messages.
To be expected.
Check your messages.
Kind of.
You would think so.
Expire.
No, cards expire.
Yeah, but
which is dumb. It's the same thing. It's just generated code. Yeah. I just think it's probably back end stuff of then you have to generate more codes because you can't repeat them
digitally than manually. Yeah.
So, secondly, if you're going a bit blind and you happen to gift the same game that your friend already owns, they can opt to regift it to someone else or to have Microsoft issue a refund, which is definitely handy. So, Mike Ibarra's tweets, quote, on gifting, the token gifted does not expire. No worrying, they will expire before the recipient redeems the code. Also, quote, also on gifting, if the recipient already owns the game, they can regift it or have the purchaser get a refund. Do keep in mind that we do not know when the feature will be extended to general user base, but as for now, it's among insiders only in the alpha circle.
Beta testing.
Alpha testing. It's likely to reach other circles sometime in the next week, but it might take time for a while for everybody gets to enjoy it. So
cool.
I think it's something as somebody who now is primarily digital, the only time I buy physical is if it's a steep discount. Like we were talking about, one of the things you're going to talk about in PSVR is there's a sale going on, and it's amazing. Like we look at PSVR Worlds, it's $40 on PlayStation. It's $20 if you buy it physically at GameStop, and it's anywhere you buy it digitally is $40. Like they don't drop the price of digital games.
It's weird how very rarely do they actually
sucks.
do
I
it.
wish
They
they
have
did.
done it once or twice. Drive Club going down to 20 was a perma drop, and Rigs went down too. But they rarely do a perma drop digitally. It's almost always just physically.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the last non-Paris Games Week news, then I'm gonna jump into the Paris Games Week here.
Yeah.
Last one. This one, Rocket League is hitting Switch on November 14th, 2017.
Awesome sauce.
Independent game developer and publisher Psyonix announced today that Rocket League will launch on Nintendo Switch console on November 14th for $19.99 US, original equivalent in the Nintendo Switch eShop. Rocket League on Nintendo will include features, upgrades, and content that millions of players worldwide have come to know and love, and will support the system's various play modes. It also will include exclusive battle cards and customization items as special unlockables, like the Mario and Luigi cards. So that's exciting. This game, when it came out, I still every so often will pick this up and play with friends. It's one of the games that just kind of doesn't die.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games you can leave for 6 months and come back. You're not quite as good, but you're still having fun.
What I'm really interested to see, I love how the picture of that car is a Metroid car, by the way. But
Yeah.
one of the
It's one of the exclusives for the Switch, Tom.
Yeah. One of the things I'm really excited to see is, we've been talking the last couple of weeks about how when an indie game that's maybe already been out for a long time on other platforms suddenly hits the Switch and then gets like 3 times the sales.
I doubt that this will get 3 times.
That's what I'm wondering.
This is already big.
That's what I'm saying.
This is
Like,
already
I mean,
big.
it's already been on everything known to man. Is it a case of like this will be the one that maybe doesn't hit as hard on the Switch, or do you think there are just some holdouts that are Nintendo diehards that really want to play?
I mean, it'll sell, but I see this potentially I can see this going 2 ways. One, there are people that are going to buy it only on Switch because that's their only console they're going to have. But I also see this as, think about like going to conventions or people that go to places with their Switch, whether it be school, whatever it may be. They're going to buy a second copy if they already own this game, because taking it on the go, and that's the Switch's selling point, is you can play games anywhere. This is a perfect game to play at conventions when you're like, hey, we have 4 people that want to play Rocket League. Let's all just sit down here for the next hour and play video games.
Yeah.
I never understood why you do that at conventions, but it's a interesting thing you can do. People do it with Pokemon for trading. People do it with various other games with Street Pass. So
You think it'll sell?
I think it'll sell. I don't think it's gonna. I think it won't break any numbers. I think this will be people's second copy of it. And even then, I think the second copy won't sell as many as the first did.
It's interesting
because it's free on PlayStation. That's why it won't break it.
It mirrors the divide to me. Well, not so much, but like I have this thing coming up. I'm like, okay, so I've had Skyrim on the PS3. I've had Skyrim on the PS4. And now I have to buy Skyrim again for VR, and I kind of want to buy the Switch one because I could take it on the go with me. And I'm like, man, virtual is like got to be a whole other thing to like take it on the go with you. So I'm like, I might 5 or 6 years after the fact buy another 2 copies of Skyrim before the year is out, which is so weird.
Yeah,
or whenever it comes out for
I'm
Switch.
not doing that. I bought the the Ultimate Edition or the special edition.
The remastered.
Yeah,
one.
I bought that one, and then I'm still debating on VR. I've had it in my cart a couple times, but I still don't know how I feel about it yet.
I don't think it's worth pre-ordering digital stuff unless you're going to play it the second
Day one
it releases.
Well, that's my thought. If I'm going to get it, I'm going to play it.
I mean, I do imagine it to be quite a big file, though.
So
saying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Elder Scrolls Online is 90 gigs or something crazy. Bertrand, you haven't played. Have you played with Bertrand yet?
Not yet.
Starlit. Bertrand he bought ESO, and he was on the stream the other night with us. He bought ESO, and
he's a singer, right? Or
no, he's a guitar player.
Guitar player.
Yeah.
For
Random Hero.
Okay.
But he went to buy the game, and I was like, start downloading it tonight. He's like, why? I was like, because it's a big ass game. And he's like, oh, whatever. He's like, because normally he takes his games like maybe a couple hours. He's like, I woke up the next day and it's still going. I was like, yep, welcome to Elder Scrolls Online.
That's a heck of a size of a game.
Yeah. Detail number 3, Guacamelee 2 announced for PS4 at Paris Games Week. Did you ever play Guacamelee 1?
I did.
I have it. I've never played it.
It's
I
good.
Feel like it's something I would. This trailer when I saw it, because I didn't watch. You watched it live. You watched Paris Games Week announcement live.
I was hard at work.
I was hard at work as well.
You were at actual work.
At actual work. And I watched it on breaks and lunch, and then last night when I got home, I watched some of the stuff and went through kind of everything that happened. And this was the one that probably there's a couple that caught my eye. I'll talk about, but this is one that
this was like the first thing they showed.
This one I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read. This is from the PlayStation blog. Hi, PlayStation friends. It's been way too long. We've missed you. We're super. That's a Spanish word. I'm gonna say excited.
Show me.
That Spanish
to it.
word.
Emocionados.
That. To finally reveal what we've quietly been working on for the last several months. Hint, it's a sequel to everyone's favorite Mexican-themed co-op multiplayer dimension-swapping Metroidvania beat-em-up platformer. It's a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It's Guacamelee 2. The sequel picks up 7 years after the original game. Juan Aguacate. Oh yeah, he's Spanish. Is living a happy life with his family when his friends and trainer Oure Chivo discovers a new evil menace that threatens to destroy not only Mexico but time and space itself. Watch the trailer at the top of this post. The link's down in the description if you want to watch it. Or you can go to our channel.
Or it's behind us.
With Guacamelee 2, we're re-examining elements that made the original game fun and a unique experience, with a focus on trying to push many of these ideas even further. We like to hold back some surprises, but there are a few new gameplay ideas that you can expect in Guacamelee 2. I'm not going to go into them.
So you never played the first one at all?
I have it. I've never played it. Like I think it was a free game 1 month, and I got it.
It was a PS Plus
and I never played it.
It's not bad. I mean, basically,
but this looks awesome. This looks like something we would sit down and play together.
Yeah,
that's what it.
I think you can play with
it's co-op.
chicken, right?
It's co-op.
But one of you gets to be a chicken, which is pretty badass. It is a badass chicken. But to me, after playing the first game, this one seems a lot more puzzle platformy than the first game.
Yeah, I don't remember the first one.
mostly remember like a tiny bit of platforming, but mostly just combat.
Tom, it is a Mexican-themed co-op multiplayer dimension-swapping Metroidvania beat-em-up platformer.
I got that. But when I watched the trailer, I was like I don't know if it was just me misremembering the original game, but I remember the original game in my head anyway to be like slightly more close up, like everything was a little bit more large, but this one seems like it's a lot further back for the jumping and things like that. So maybe I just I'm misremembering.
I really liked the thing I liked was they had the, I'm gonna call them riffs because I don't know what else to call them, but they had the lines like puzzles.
Oh yeah, like
I love that.
Some stuff was turned on when it was moving.
Yeah.
It was consistently moving.
I feel like that would hit you, or you would hate that because you move slow.
It is an interesting, it's an interesting mechanic. But I have another question about Guacamelee 2. Is it racist?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I was wondering.
It's based on luchadors.
I know, I know that they're paying homage to everything, but it's so.
If that's the case, then every Japanese game is racist.
Well, if they're is this made in Mexico? Because that would be different. I don't know.
It's Drinkbox Studios.
I was watching the trailer for it, and it was just
Smith.
I don't know. It seemed a little bit.
I can tell you where they're
the
based
top.
here in a second.
I wouldn't say it's racist necessarily.
They're based in Toronto.
Toronto.
They're Toronto.
Great guys to do that.
I mean,
but not hating.
It's just playing on stereotypes. That's what all movies and cartoons do.
I get it, and there's a million games where English people are ridiculous villains and stuff, and I get it.
Yeah, English people are always villains because of the voice.
Yeah,
that's just the way it works.
But yeah, I just kind of always look at that game.
Or Secret Agent.
It's borderline to me.
It's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Next one, Loco Roco 2 remastered. Release date announced. I've never played Loco Roco 2. The news and announcement in Sony's pre-showcase live stream from Paris Games Week, along with a look at some gameplay and a reminder that the game will be 4K playable on PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't really need it, to be honest.
The remaster was originally announced earlier this year and follows the success of Loco Roco Remastered. Check our review of the original game. This is IGN, by the way, to see why it's such a beloved series. I should probably do that because I know nothing about the series. I've never played Loco Roco, never heard of it.
Was a really popular game for the very early days of the PS3 and the PSP, because it was a pick up and play indie. It was actually probably one of the first more famous indie games to get released, to the point where every Sony fan at that time knew Loco Roco, and they knew they knew. What was the other one? Patapon, which is the one with the drums.
Greg Miller loves Patapon.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're decent games. I always got bored of them. But Loco Roco was the big hook there was that you controlled the environment as opposed to the thing. So you would roll the environment, and then your little blob would go and try and find other blobs and stuff. It's just cute. It's fun. My wife played it. She liked it. It's not a bad game at all. I don't understand why it needs to be remastered though. It's all a cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The 4K assets, I guess.
Yeah,
looks better on big TV.
I don't know. You'd really have. I mean, HDR doesn't really come into play. There's certain things that I just don't get about that. But I mean, it's nice to play it again if you liked it. So there's that.
Cool. Sorry, my watch is vibrating right now.
That's
crazy.
This was good. This was good.
This is the one that I'm probably most excited about when it comes to the announcements. Concrete Genie announced.
Yeah, that looked a lot.
During Sony's PlayStation Media Showcase at Paris Games Week 2017, a new game from developer Pixelpuss was revealed.
I laughed too.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was like, wait a second. The game, titled Concrete Genie, puts players in the shoes of a bullied teenager named Ash, Pokemon reference, who uses magical paint to create, don't read it on me page, to create beautiful images on buildings of his hometown in an effort to bring it back to life. Watch some of the announcement trailer on our channel. But this was really cool. This is the one that is like, okay, you got me. And this is the one, because on my break I started watching live, and this is what was on there when I watched it live, and I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, this was the second one in the show that they came out with. They came out with the Ghosts of Tsushima, or whatever the hell that one is. But Concrete Genie, to follow that up, was just, for a start, it's fucking beautiful. Like, the way they play with lights in that game is unreal, and like the painting aspect. What it actually reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever played this game, but Mark Echo's Getting Up. Do you ever play that?
No.
So Mark Echo is like a fashion designer, right? But he also used to be like a bit of a cool dude. He would do like graffiti and stuff like that. And so basically they made this game in tribute to him where he would go around his city and the only way he could save it was to graffiti things. Now, they didn't magically come to life and help him like platform or anything. That's
what I'm interested to see kind of how this is going to work and how it's going to...
Well, apparently they all have their own AI. When you create the monsters, they have their own AI. And also, there was an interview with the developers afterwards.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
It's interesting. They say that like even if you're shit at drawing, that it makes your shitness better. Like if you draw like just scribbles, it'll make it beautiful somehow. Yeah. So you feel like
it's like what was it, Scribblenauts style?
A little bit
is what it looks like.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. This is 2018.
Beautiful game.
PlayStation exclusive, of course.
Yeah.
But this I think they're the people that did Entwined, if I remember correctly.
You're right.
I wasn't a huge fan of that game because it's kind of boring.
I don't think I ever played it.
But this, from Entwined to this, is a hell of a jump.
Yeah, good for them. Hopefully this is a new IP that's going to stick the test of time.
Then last one that I have from Paris Games Week, Spelunky 2 announced. Do you ever play Spelunky? Dude, nope. Spelunky is awesome.
I never played it, and I don't know what the draw is because everyone talks about it like it's this god game, and I'm just like, it looks like Dig Dug to me. I don't get it.
It's because it's awesome. It's because you play weird Japanese
played
games.
it? Tell me about it.
Hold on, let me read the spiel here.
All right.
At Paris Games Week today, Mossmouth revealed Spelunky 2. A trailer showed the original adventurer from Spelunky growing up and having a child, who seems to be the protagonist of the new game, but no gameplay details were revealed or shown. On Twitter, creator Derek Yu said Spelunky 2 will come first to PS4 and PC. The release date window was announced. An HD version of Spelunky was released on Xbox Live in 2012, and we went on to call it one of the best 100 games of all time. Spelunky was later ported to PC, PS4, and Vita. You need to play this game, Tom. Apparently, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's one of those like it pulls on the nostalgia strings of like the NES era art style type thing, and then it goes into the
Aren't you
exploration of it.
Complaining about pixel games?
This isn't pixel though.
Oh, it's not.
No,
okay. It's just that style.
It feels like that game, but it's updated to newer graphics. Does that make sense? Like it's got that feel to it, but it's not. Yeah, it's got the nostalgia strings, but it's not pixelated. But I can't say I really loved the first game. I played it for maybe like 3 hours, but I enjoyed my time in it. When they announced this, I was like, okay, let me jump into this. Because I played Spelunky after, because again, I think it was a free game or something.
Yeah, I might have it. I feel like I have it, but I don't remember. And honestly, like it's not really been one I don't remember looking at the name Spelunky and thinking, I need to know more.
Best 100 games of all time.
That is surprising. It says who?
IGN.
Yeah, fuck IGN. I don't think that's right.
I think it is.
You think it's one of the best 100 games of all time?
Yeah.
Spelunky.
Yeah.
Spelunky.
Start naming games.
I'm not gonna say that's a throwback to our earlier. No, I'm not gonna do that. But
I think it is. And you haven't played it, so you I feel like you can't judge it.
I'm not saying.
Actually,
you played it for 3 hours, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't play it that long, but I enjoyed my time in it, and I could see how it is really, really well done. Like that's the thing, like because when we think of like top 100 games, we tend to think of the top 25 games. in our mind because 100's a lot more than you think it is.
Well, I get
make
that,
sense?
but like of all time,
Yeah.
you're putting it against some absolute mammoth games, multiple mammoth games
Yeah.
from so many consoles.
They didn't say it was top 10.
All right,
They just said it was, maybe it's 97, Tom. I don't know.
Viewers and listeners, I want in the comments on wherever you are. Prefer if you're in iTunes, go to the Level 2 site or tweet us and let us know. Spelunky, is it top 100 games ever material? I want an answer. I want to vote. Actually,
Let's see what number it is. Let's see if it's on here.
I fucking believe it's on there. I
I know. I just want to see what number it is because that's gonna kind of.
Yeah, if it's like fucking
if it's like 20, I'm like, okay.
If it's back, yeah, fucking
72.
Okay, all
72. Right. It is just above Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3 Raven Shield and just below Warcraft 2.
Well, yeah, that already sounds like bollocks.
Tide of Darkness. It's
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3 Raven Shield is in there.
What's number 1? Number 1 is Super Mario Brothers 3. And then Link to the Past is number 2. Doom is number 3.
Yeah, not arguing with that for that. Does seem Nintendo heavy. Gotta say that.
I mean, Sam Claiborne works there. You know it's Nintendo heavy.
Yeah.
You probably don't know who Sam Claiborne is, but it's Sam Claiborne.
It's let's ask you guys. What do you think? Spelunky top 100 or not? And then we'll tally the votes.
And the last bit of news, this came on Twitter, and I couldn't tell if it's part of Paris Games Week or not, so I just put it in the Paris Games Week section. Yeah, which is a bad time to announce stuff. But Night in the Woods, Weird Autumn Edition announced.
Weird Autumn Edition.
That's Weird Autumn Edition.
We played that, didn't we?
We did. Jake played that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He was at work on Sunday. I got to hang out with him.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, he's got some hippie hair now.
Again.
He's got some hippie hair now.
Some hippie hair.
Yeah, I was like, you go to Arizona and now you get this hippie hair. He's like, yeah, but I have no allergies.
Punk 11 from the season 2 of Stranger Things, and don't worry about it.
I don't know.
No spoilers.
I've never seen Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Night in the Woods, Weird Autumn Edition is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, Mac, and Linux on December 13th. Developer Infinite Fall has also hinted at a potential Switch version of its story-driven adventure game, writing on Twitter, "Stay tuned for news on another console," which I'm unable to mention for reasons, but you know which console I'm talking about.
Yeah, like how fucking obvious could it be?
Night in the Woods
I would buy that on Switch. I would buy that on Switch.
It's
I
a
really
perfect
liked
Switch
it.
game.
We never got that far in it, but I was really enjoying it.
Night in the Woods was initially released past February for PS4, PC, Mac, and Linux. For those who own the standard edition, you'll be able to upgrade to the Weird Autumn via free patch. According to the developer, Weird Autumn can be thought of as the director's cut of Night in the Woods that is great for first-timers and those who have played the game alike. Night in the Woods mobile version was also announced last week. A specific release date as well as mobile platform support will be revealed in the future.
When they say director's cut, does that mean they've like changed the story?
They add stuff. So like
they just put in some missing things,
like a director's cut of a movie. So yeah, the way like a movie works is you have the theatrical release, which a lot of times has time constraints that they have to fit within, and then you have the director's cut, which is what he wanted to put in. And usually it's only like a couple scenes missing, but those scenes can add to a character's backstory.
We had to have a director's cut of a game. I think I've seen it before. I feel like there's been some other games that have had things patched. I mean, I guess Mass Effect technically got an ending patched. I don't know if that's considered director's cut, but it's similar.
That was, people were pissed and like, ugh.
Yeah, there is that.
So moving on to our spotlights this week.
Go for it.
So I played a game that was announced at Paris Games Week.
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't bring this up at the beginning, but now I just realized why.
That was released at Paris Games Week.
Oure.
And I picked it up for $20. Oure. And Oure is basically, in a nutshell, a Titan fighting, dragon manipulating person platforming game.
Sounds about right.
So the way it starts out, and it's really, I was really like, I'm going to tell you now, I'm not a huge fan of it because I'm about to say it's real good and then it'll let down.
You liked it a lot. There was one aspect that put you off it, and it was a big thing.
Yes. So at the beginning, when you start the game up, you go new game and you're like, go. It starts with this really cool story of like you're just at a white door and you're talking to your parents like, is that my dreams? Is this coming to life? All this
it's
kind of
Japanese, isn't it?
Probably.
Or, no, it might be Chinese. There's a Chinese dragon, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's Asian.
I didn't look.
Yeah.
It's like a 2.5 gig file. I know that. Because I downloaded it. It took like 4 minutes.
Not anymore.
But it starts with the door and it's like the story. It's like, okay, this is intriguing. Like, these are my dreams. It's like coming to life. Like all this cool stuff, like weird things, like playing on a kid's imagination. I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. I get in, no direction on what to do. It gives you the tutorial, the tutorial is great. It's like Move with the stick. Okay, I'm slithering like a snake. I can slither like this. Hold R1 or R2 to go up, L2 to go down.
Okay.
X is boost.
Descend.
Yep.
It sounds like a normal
Square.
flight sim,
If
to
you
be
hold
honest.
if you hold square, you'll do a spinny circle, which will then mark things on your map that you can go to.
That's
So there's little orbs you got to collect throughout the world to be able to do certain puzzles. So out of the tutorial, I was like, sweet, got it. Took me probably, you'll see in the gameplay, I've uploaded it, but it took me probably 15 minutes to get 10-15 minutes to get through the tutorial, because my biggest issue with the game is the fucking controls. The game is beautiful, it looks great, it has a potentially great story, but I got to the point where I got so frustrated with the controls that I stopped playing. It took me 45 minutes to get through. If you go watch the gameplay that we have, I stopped at the Titan because I got stuck at that Titan because I could not finish the damn puzzle. And it wasn't because I didn't know what to do. I knew what I needed to do. I just could not execute it because the dragon, basically, you use the left stick to move the dragon, and he can move left and right, up and down. And he circles, though. So it's like, it's not a turn left, it's a circle left. And then the camera is free flowing on its own. So you use the right stick to move the camera.
Gotcha.
Problem is sometimes the dragon moves without the camera moving. So when you go to aim for something specific, I started aiming like with his head. Like, it was weird because it took me out of it because like his head was the crosshairs. But even that didn't help. So there'd be times where like I thought I hit it, and I'd be off by like maybe like I wouldn't say 6 inches in Game World. I don't know how far it was.
6 virtual blocks.
Yeah, it was enough that it just frustrated me that then you have to loop back around because you can't just spin around.
Gotcha.
And you had to come back and do flybys all the time.
In stark contrast to your review for Air, in which you thought the flight was implemented very well, mostly.
Yeah, there's a couple of glitches, which I expect. Flight is not easy to do in a game.
No, it's not.
So, but this when the game is 99% flight, you got to do it. So, give you an idea. So there's orbs you collect throughout the world, and you got to collect these orbs to then unlock these spires, which then let you go and I'm gonna say fight. That's not the right word, but you go experience these titans. And the first one I did was I got up to the spire and I had to collect 10 orbs because I got there and it's like, oh, you can't go here yet. You need 10 orbs. I was like, fuck, I gotta get 10 orbs. So you hit the little square and you spin around and you light up the orbs and find them, pick them up. There's also these, I don't know what these were used for, but there's also like, I'm gonna call it like hoops that you can fly through. God knows how well that went for me. But I turned.
So that was Superman 64 then.
Yeah, I figured you could hit it. You don't have to go through it. Once I found that, I was like, I'm just going to fucking run into it. Like, cool. But once you collect the orbs, you then open up another power-up that opens up another gate that then got you to the staircase you climbed, and you grabbed this floating, looked like a rock, probably some sort of magical thing, and it teleports you, or it summons a Titan, this was a really cool cutscene. The introduction of the Titans was amazing. So, the Titan comes in, picture like a rock bird. It's essentially what it is. It's more, I guess, more like a stingray shape.
Okay.
Because it moves like a stingray underwater. But it's flying over top, and it's kind of like in Breath of the Wild, how you can see the bird in the sky coming over top of you. And it's just watching it, and it shows you where it goes, and then you teleport, and you become the dragon again behind it. And then from there, you've got to solve the puzzle. I don't want, if anybody's going to play it, I don't want to ruin it for them. But you got to solve the puzzle with it. But it was so cool, because when you get there, when you spawn behind it, she's telling the story about the Titans and her dreams and the stories her parents read to her, and she goes, this one looks like the one from my dreams, but it's different. I think it's hurt. So you have to figure out why it's hurt.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh, that is so good, because I half expected it to be like the rest of the game, like, oh, get on here, collect this, do this. Like,
so it wasn't repetitive?
No, not from what I played. Repetitiveness came from flying back and forth everywhere, and that, I wish, the boost, they did do a smart thing with the controls. And it was, if you touch a cloud, you get your boost back. So they have the stamina meter.
All right.
So what I would do, if I had to go far from point A to point B, I would just lay low on the clouds, and it would just keep my boost full, and I just gunned it the whole time. Or I'd fly up high and dip back down and get my boost back that way. So you find different ways to do it, but the controls completely took me out of the game.
Think a patch could fix it?
I would hope so. It's a camera thing, I think, more than like the actual controls themselves.
You thought that about Guacamelee as well.
They've not fixed that.
Yeah.
This one I think is fixable because you can hit R3 to recenter the camera, but even then, like your head moves so quickly that it's like they don't have a tracking point on the head for when it moves with the camera.
Gotcha.
So they keep it separate.
It's out of sync.
But I wish it would, like when you move, I wish it would move by itself, and then you can manually move. Like I think all the Mario games do it now, where it'll follow Mario, but if you want to turn it around, I guess most third-person games do this. You can spin it around and see what's going on. So
like a lot of PSP games used to do that, like GTAs and stuff, because that was the only way they could do it with no camera thing. They would just consistently have the camera behind you.
Yeah, so it would lock on, but then you can use the right stick if you wanted to spin to see what's around you. So like when I had to find the orbs, I became my dragon. I did my circle and was like, okay, where's the closest 10 orbs to get? And again, the game is great other than the camera, and that's what sucks to me is like there's secret areas like clouds you fly into to get these orbs that you would not see normally. Like it was so cool, but it came more frustrating than the reward I got.
Do you think it was interesting that they dropped it same day as the conference?
Yeah,
that was the only one they did.
Yeah, I like that.
It was cool, I thought.
Yeah, it was. I like when they do that. It's that one more thing type thing where it's like, and today.
Shame it didn't work out, but I mean for you anyway. But
it's $20.
There might be some other people that
people might like. Like I said, it's a
guess.
good game, and if you can get past the camera. But I'm such a 3D platformer camera guy. Like, if the camera's shit, I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time because I'm so used to having good cameras with that.
Did you play Abzu? You did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how was that camera?
It was all right. It
okay?
wasn't great. It wasn't the best I played, but it definitely didn't get in the way.
Gotcha.
That's the thing, is if the camera gets in the way, then I have an issue.
Okay.
So, Oure, I would say basically pick it up at your own choice, which I guess you do anyway. But I would not recommend it right now with the camera the way they are. See if they fix the camera. But the controls are great. The atmosphere is great. It was fun moving as the dragon because the dragon was very fluid, which I loved. Well, other than the turns.
What I was wondering is, it's a Chinese dragon. It's not like a dragon, so like it's got like the really long body and everything. Does that not bother you? Because it's quite similar to a snake.
I thought about it, so it clicked in my head at some of the movements I made would do it.
Slithery.
Yeah, it was just like, but that's why. So when I traveled initially, I was traveling like this, side to side. I then started traveling up and down. And that, because I did have a few moments, and the first time I did the circle because it closes in on himself. It's like a constrictor. Did not like that, but
I was just wondering.
Yeah,
so it's like that looks a lot like Snake. I'm surprised you were.
That's like Snake Pass. I can't play, and that's another game that didn't do snake control as well. So
fair enough.
What's your thing?
Game? So I was struggling this week, honestly, because I hadn't had enough money to pick up anything. We didn't have any keys that I had to use. So I remembered that not so long ago I picked up a game that I never got a chance to play, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to play it. It's a little bit late, maybe, but we've never covered the game, so I thought it would be interesting to talk about because it is a classic sort of style game, and that is Sonic Mania. So I purchased Sonic Mania.
I'm waiting for this on Switch.
That's where I have it.
That's what I'm waiting.
I wanted it on Switch. So
I almost got on PS4.
That's the only reason I picked it up, is because it was for Switch. I wanted a physical copy, but they don't have one. So you
can make one.
The download's tiny. It's like a gig, if that. So you only have like 32 gigs or whatever base.
Or you get an
Switch.
SD card and you're fine.
Or that. I'm too lazy to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I got Sonic Mania, and I'm like in the days of yore when it was Genesis versus SNES. I was a Genesis guy, as you know. So Sonic was my dude.
Which Sonic did you stop playing? Like, what was the Sonic where you're like,
stopped playing?
Yeah, where you like, I'm now no longer playing Sonic.
I played all the way up to Sonic and Knuckles.
So you didn't make the 3D jump?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't try.
So you still remember Sonic being good?
I remember Sonic fondly. I know that some people like Sonic Adventures 2 and stuff like that. But
yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast was pretty good. The GameCube port was not.
I just never saw Sonic being able to translate to 3D the same way that Mario could. Like, I know they wanted to do that in a term of like speed, but it doesn't work that way. Like, unless your control system was super unique as far as how you suddenly go faster or suddenly start spinning or whatever, because like the fact you are literally through most Sonic games just a ball of
You're just like,
chaos.
Go.
Yeah, you're a ball of chaos. You're a point where like you're going down a ramp, you'll just like crouch so he starts rolling, and then for the next 15 seconds your hands off the controller, just like, where do I stop? Yeah. Like, what happens next? So it's not a good game to port to 3D, and that was where it lost out to Mario, was that Mario managed to make that jump and Sonic didn't, and Sonic didn't even try to stick around. Now they did have
he tried. I think Sega, the Dreamcast kind of was Sega had some issues after
there was
that.
some,
and
but
then Sonic Team,
they had that like Sonic 4 or whatever, that was an episodic one, if you remember that, which was supposedly had that old school vibe, but it didn't really, like, it was just like a HD Sonic 2D. So here's where Sonic Mario was different. You know, I'm sure by now anyway, that Sonic Mania is... Did I say Sonic Mario? I did. Yeah. Sonic Mania is...
Sonic Mario.
That would be great. Is made by fans. It was basically a love letter to the Sonic series, and what they wanted to do was take the traditional pixel Sonic, maybe like one of the better later looking pixel Sonics. It's not quite as primitive as the first one, but they wanted to take that, flash it up a little bit, and then mix together the best levels and elements of the original Sonic games, but change them. So the levels are all a little bit different to how you remember it. Like Green Hill Zone starts out identical. Like, you know how you always remember the first Mario level, like where you jump over the Goomba, there's 3 blocks, question mark in the middle.
Do you know more people died on that Goomba than any other video game?
That's surprising.
Because people didn't know to jump over it.
Right, they just ran into it.
Yeah.
So very similar in nature. Like, you start Green Hill Zone, you're like, everything's in the right place, the same enemies are there, and you're like, oh man, this feels good. Except Tails is with you, and you know Tails was from the second game, so there's a little weird, there's something a little off. And then as you're playing it,
So I never played Sonic 1. I played Sonic 1, but I played Sonic 2.
Right.
Like Sonic 2 is the one I remember. Yeah. Because that was the first one that had Spin Dash.
Right. And then they have the spin dash in this, gracefully. And
Yes.
some other weird things as well. Like some of the pickups you can get that can do some really cool shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, it starts off just hitting you in the face with nostalgia. There's like a really weird opening scene where Dr. Robotnik, not fucking Eggman, was his original name and best name.
Are you sure?
Well, it was his name in England. I don't know if they changed it for here, but he was Dr. Robotnik.
I think it was Eggman in Japan.
Yeah, which is bollocks. Eggman is a stupid name. Dr. Robotnik is so much better because all he does is fuck with robots all the time. And he doesn't look like an egg.
I mean, he's got an egg shape.
Yeah, type in Dr. Robotnik. There you go, Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik. Eggman's a nickname.
So he was always Eggman. They just never used it.
Yeah, good for them. So anyway, side note, Robotnik has got a bunch of...
Or Robotnik back in my day.
Mini Robotniks that are all like... just kind of like how like Bowser has his mini Bowsers, you know.
Another side note, his grandfather was Gerald Robotnik.
Good to know.
Fun fact.
I'm glad he has a backstory.
And he has a crush, Maria Robotnik. Oh no, crush. That was cousin. I thought it said crush.
That's his... Oh, God.
Cousin.
Maybe he does have a crush on his
Maybe,
cousin.
who knows?
He's a pretty weird looking...
But anyways.
But, so you go through and like the first boss fight is different to how you remember it and everything. So this one you're starting to realize like, yeah, this is
slightly different.
A little off. Yeah, there's like some switches.
It's like a remix
stuff.
essentially.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. It's like a remix of the original level.
Because they had some unique levels too. Because I've not played it, but I've watched like Game Grumps play it, and I've seen some of them. Like you get the nostalgia strings on some of it, and then other stuff you're like, because I like that they changed it up, so it makes it new too. Because like I don't want to play Sonic. If I want to play Sonic 2 again, I'd play Sonic 2 again.
Right.
Type thing.
Yeah, and like even like the specials, the special or the what do they call them, like the special areas, special temples, whatever.
The Chaos Emerald areas.
Yeah, that whatever they call it, special zone. I get it is. So when you go there, they're like some of those are like throwbacks to some of the special zones from the original games. Some are new, and it's kind of like it's interesting because I remember the throwback ones, and then like and how hard they fucking were, and then the new ones I was just like, this is cool. Like it's actually a good idea.
Have you ever gotten Supersonic in Sonic?
I don't think so.
You suck.
No, I had Supersonic.
Nope, he didn't.
No, the yellow one, right?
No, he's white, but yeah.
Well, I thought he was yellow, but yeah.
I mean, he's yellow, but he turns white when you activate it.
I've had Supersonic. Fuck that. But anyway, and then so you go from Green Hill Zone. And the way it plays is almost like it's so bizarre because like the original one, like they would stop the game, they'd do the and then they'd give you your score and everything. But in this game, like they stop for like a half a second, and then the sign comes down and it just says like Act 2, and you just keep going. There's no like break in the levels. Or you knock it up
in the air if you want to.
Yeah, well,
get 100 more points for each jump.
So like you're never really taken out of the game over too long, except for cutscenes in between.
Yeah.
And then they get to Chemical Plant. And I'm just like, Chemical Plant, that's from Sonic 2, I think. Because I remember Tails being there. And I'm like, God, I remember hating the Chemical Plant, but I remember loving the music. So like, when the comes in, I'm freaking out. I'm loving it. Like nostalgia all over. And then again, as I'm going through this level, like they've kept elements of the original and they've twisted it up and remixed it. And I loved it. Like all the stuff they added was super fun. Like it was all like you could be a ball of electricity traveling through like different tunnels, or you'd get to go down a giant test tube. You had to inject water with this green gunk that would make it bouncy. And like they really went to town on like making it more of an interesting level.
They took the look and feel of the game and just added to it. They didn't ruin it.
Exactly. Not at all.
I heard some of the levels near the end are kind of meh.
Haven't got that far.
Like they're not bad, but they're just like they felt like they were forced to fit Sonic.
They give you value from it.
And it's the same with anything. Like
I haven't even got as far as playing Knuckles.
The
yet,
ocean.
so.
What's the ocean one in Sonic 2? I didn't like that zone.
No one likes
with the
oil
oil
zone.
The oil.
Oil, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was the oil zone. I've beat Sonic 2 multiple times.
Vaguely remember.
Like I said, that's the one game that I remember.
I've beaten it. I just honestly I can't.
I have it on Xbox.
Remember. I remember at the end you're like on the. I don't know if it's the first one. The second
the airplane.
Where you're on the airplane.
Yeah,
right?
that's the second one.
Because when you're supersonic and everything. But
you don't turn. No, you only get supersonic if you get all the Chaos Emeralds.
I was supersonic at some point in that part of the game. I remember that. Shit.
You can get it.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Sonic Mania. Listen to me. So, I bought it for Switch, and I bought it for Switch specifically because
it's weird.
No, just because like it's come out on every platform, well, most platforms, and I was like, yes, for the weirdness factor of playing a Sonic game on a Nintendo platform. B, because I think it'd be really good for on the go, because the levels are not long in Sonic games. You know, they're maybe 5 minutes a pop. Mm-hmm. So it's a really easy, digestible, like on a bus or train or whatever.
Does it? I assume it has save states after each level.
Yeah.
Because the original Sonic did not.
Yeah, no, it's
a little bit improved. You had to go all the way through. Same thing with the 360 version, because I have the 360 version.
It sucked because you had to do the whole like in one session.
Or you just keep it on.
Or pause it, yeah. But so yeah, no, I had a really good time with it. I only got a couple levels in. I got like 3 levels in, I think. I recorded the footage. It's behind us. But I realized at the beginning how bad I was, and then I started to get in the groove again, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like, you can let yourself go a little bit, and you're just like, I'm just gonna spin someplace and see what happens.
Yeah, we should do like a Sonic speedrun. We'll play like Sonic 2, and we'll have like 15 minutes to get as far as we can.
As far as you can.
And see who's better.
I'd do that.
Because I feel like you played a lot more growing up. But I mastered Sonic 2.
I play slowly, so like I take my time, and I always get fucked over by puzzles and things.
Which is funny because you play Sonic slowly.
Yeah.
Can you just
sometimes
the oxymoron on that?
Not all the times. Like sometimes when I'm just looping the loop or whatever, I let him go. But like if I see a platform, I don't just like. A lot of people will play Sonic like they'll just jump into the abyss and hope for the best.
That's how I play.
But I'll stop and get on the platform.
You learn to get launched up. That means there's gonna be something down below that you can hit to bounce back up to keep going. There's one guy I watched that didn't touch the ground the whole time during the Sonic level, and I was like, that's insane.
There's definitely an art to it. Like you can hit everything perfect. Yeah. But the boss fights were really good because they're all new and they're very unique.
That's what Sonic's been known for.
Yeah, memorable boss fight for me was there was one where Robotnik was flying above you and he was controlling the weather. Mm-hmm. So like if it was going to be windy, it was a big TV, and if it was going to be windy on the Weather Channel, then you had to quickly run to the left or right side, and then when you got sucked up in the air with the wind, you would hang onto a pole. But if you're in the middle, you'd be fucked. You'd just go up into a roof full of spikes.
Yep.
And then they had like lightning. You should just avoid the lightning. And then the weird one, the one that you could get him on, was the sun. So it would get really, really hot, but you'd have to stand underneath Robotnik so you wouldn't get the heat, I guess. The hot. You wouldn't get the hotties. And then he drops at that point, in which case you can just like bang the crap out of him real quick.
There's another one, I don't know if you made it to it yet, but there's a trash compactor one that reminds me of Star Wars, where you get the walls squeezed in, and you're like, I can't hit him, and eventually you realize that the ground's getting higher, so you freak out, but you realize you can hit him.
That's awesome.
And you just got to make sure you hit all your shots, otherwise you're going to die.
I mean, it was a really good time. I totally will pick it back up again and dig back in. It was way better than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be a little cleaner looking. I thought they would update it graphically a bit more, but
I think it's also to pull nostalgia strings.
They didn't. Because it was way better that way. Like I said, I haven't got as far as Knuckles or anything yet, but so far the story is like blah.
Sonic does not have a story.
It's not really a story at all.
Robotnik did something, you're going to kill him.
They're trying to do something with it, like, oh, Robotnik's got a Chaos Emerald, go get him type thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really good time. So if you are a fan of old school Sonic, especially Sonic 1 and 2, or maybe 3 mix in there too, then definitely pick it up.
Cool.
And a really good time.
Sweet. So moving on to our discussion here, and I'm going to come up with this off the top of my head, because, again, didn't plan ahead, but I kind of did. So Paris Games Week was yesterday as of recording.
Yes.
A couple days ago, if you're watching and or listening. The day this releases, if you're watching it a week later, then it's a week ago. If you're watching a year later, I don't know why you're watching a year later, but it's a year ago.
Hi.
That's weird.
Future.
But, so my question is, what from... not including AAAs, because there's a lot of big things that dropped, like Last of Us 2, God of War. Sadly, not very many dates, which made me sad.
Shadow of the Colossus. Amazing.
Yeah. But what, indie-wise, caught your eye from Paris Games Week? And what do you think that means for PSX?
Good question. So the ones that caught my eye visually...
I got a good question, guys.
From the indie area, and I tweaked my VR question because I know you're going to attack me on it. So the ones that really stood out to me, the Hong Kong Massacre looked great. I didn't
get to see that one.
Hong Kong Massacre was a twin stick shooter, which I'm not.
Oh yeah, that's like it's like the Hotline Miami style. Yeah, I saw.
But
that
it was
one.
like
I didn't know what it was
John
called.
Woo.
Because I was fast forwarding through.
Yeah, that's okay. So it was like a John Woo game, top down, basically. So like there was a lots of like slow mo, Max Payne dives, and like it just looked really good. I think if it's co-op, and I didn't see anything about that on there, but if it is co-op, it would be well worth a pick up. Again, not the biggest fan of twin stick shooters, but the style and the kind of the noir aspect to it, the fact it was in Tokyo, the lighting was beautiful. I would give it a shot for the right price. I think that's the important part. The gardens between look pretty cool. Did you see that?
They did.
Yeah, what do you think of that? I thought that would look like a U game.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. My answer to this is the concrete.
Concrete Genie.
I can never remember the fucking name of it, but that game.
It is a weird name.
Yeah, but no, the Gardens Between was interesting. That's the one where they can do the time stopping.
It looks
right?
like that crab game where you just keep going around in circles.
That was so my thought with it was A, it kind of looked like Oceanhorn, and B, it looked like a mobile port kind of feel to it. So I'm interested to see what the gameplay looks like.
It definitely did have a little bit of a mobile port feel.
If the gameplay is just what we saw there, I'm not super hyped for it. But if they come out and say, hey, there's a whole nother like the whole manipulating time, you can do so much with that, and I like that. But what they showed me didn't get me super excited for it.
It almost had elements of Swapper to me, like because with Swapper you have like a body double up someplace, and you have to kind of like keep walking, and he walks exactly in time with you, so you walk him into an obstacle, or you walk into an obstacle, he'll keep going. It was kind of like it was a weird puzzler. It looks like that, just with time mechanics thrown in. So like you might go up a stairs and then like have to jump him backwards and then go backwards, and then super weird, but beautiful art style. Really enjoyed the trailer for that one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think my big takeaway was the Hong Kong Massacre, and Invector looked okay as well. I don't think I'll pick it up. Invector was the space game where it was like a rhythm based game.
Oh, I give it up on space games.
It was like more like Wipeout on a Guitar Hero track.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense whatsoever. But yeah, it didn't look too bad. But yeah, sign me up for the Hong Kong Massacre and potentially the Gardens Between. Looks like it might be too smart for me. But yeah. But yeah, Concrete Genie.
Concrete Genie is the one that got me. Like that's the one. Like so again, I was at work, and Lisa, who knew at work, I was like, "What is that? That looks so cool." And I was like, it reminded me of like Epic Mickey. And don't play Epic Mickey 2, but only play the first one if you're gonna play it. But you don't have to play it now, I guess, because there's this game coming out. But it was really cool because like the more you looked at it, and it's one of those things like I'm excited, but I also now trying to not get overhyped for things because I don't want it to be like you can draw anything and it comes to life and you can do whatever you want with these characters, because there's obviously limitations you got to live within in the video game world. But when I saw that, I love the art style immediately. And then
did it remind you of Where the Wild Things Are?
A little bit, but it reminded me. I'm trying to think what there was a cartoon I used to watch that is what I felt with it, and I can't remember what the name of the cartoon was, but it was some like late '90s, early 2000s cartoon. I was like, I'm getting that vibe from it, and I just really think the mechanics, if done right, because you know how much I love puzzle games, you know how much I love like wandering around adventure style.
Are you big
games.
on drawing stuff though? Because
I suck at drawing,
I know
but I
you
like it.
Building stuff, but I don't know if you like drawing.
So Scribblenauts, I played the crap out of.
Okay.
And I was that guy though. So this is how I play video games: is like Scribblenauts. Certain times it's like, oh, you need a ladder to get up there. Well, fuck that. I don't want to build a ladder. That's the easy answer. Let me draw, like, can I make barrels? Can I make something else? Like, that kind of thing, and do it that way. I feel like that's going to be me in this game. Is like, I'll play it through probably normally at first, and then I'll just go off the rails, be like, what can I do? Push limitations.
I don't know how linear it's going to be, though, because Scribblenauts is completely non-linear. Well, I mean, it is, I guess, but you have multiple thousands of ways to solve the same problem. My answer to every thing in Scribblenauts was Cthulhu. I was like, I just want Cthulhu to come down to kill
Didn't
everything.
work.
I mean, for some stuff it did, not for others. But yeah, I mean, it was really, really beautiful looking. I think it reminded me visually, actually, of the infamous Second Son, like in terms of there being neon kind of everywhere. And I like the bullying aspect of it, like how it was an anti-bullying
So, like,
message.
at first I was like, oh, this is going to be a cute, like, puzzle paint game. And then they brought in the story, and I was like, that's kind of where I was like, okay, this is when it went from, like, a cute shovelware game to, like, this is going to be a legit game.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm in on this. Because it reminded me a little bit of Life is Strange. aspect.
I could see that.
With like the teenage vibe to it.
I was saying the only thing about this game that I'm unsure of is that I don't know if we can technically even classify it as an indie game, because even though it kind of is, the studio is owned by Sony. They're just like a subsidiary of Sony. Basically, Sony said, we're going to buy you, do something cool.
Sony owns the developer. They're not publishing the game. Okay.
Correct. But yeah, so it's a subsidiary of
it's
Sony
kind of like the EA
Pixel
game. Was with the two people that announced at
Army
E3?
of Two. Army of One.
No, EA announced it at E3. It's the Escape the Prison game. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Brothers or something like that. I don't something.
It wasn't Brothers, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah, it was a generic name.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
One Way Out. That's what it was.
Something like that.
Yeah. So that I mean, let's be honest. That's the only one. And then Oure, until I played it, like that was another one. I was like, that looked so good.
It did look really cool. It looked like a Journey Abzu type thing, and it's sad to hear the controls. I'm tempted to try it just to see if I have the same problem with the controls, or whether it's like more intuitive to me. I don't know, because I do play a lot of like weird games like that, so it might be less bizarre, and I'm less fussy on the camera than you are.
Like I said, that I'm as somebody who grew up playing 3D platformers, like that's my genre, and that's the one I'm going to nitpick more than anything else, because that's what I grew up playing. So like versus an RPG, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Not a lot of flight in 3D platformers back in the day, though.
You had Mario. Mario flew with his cat.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Whee! I remember the damn Bob-omb level.
Got like shot out of cannons quite often. The
fucking the cloud level to get that, getting the 8 red coins there was a pain in the ass back in the day. And I know I said no AAA games, but fucking Destiny. They gave me the
Destiny
release
DLC.
Date. Yeah, they gave me that's all I wanted.
Curse of Osiris, isn't it?
Yep. Super excited about that. I won't go too in depth on it, obviously, because it's AAA. But man, I was as somebody who's played.
I have another place for you to talk about that.
Yeah, somebody who has played a lot of Destiny 2. I'm excited because I'm hitting the point now where.
One other game that
I finished the raid finally this week.
Congrats.
3 times actually, twice.
One other
twice.
game that I think I would potentially classify as indie, even though it's a similar situation. I believe it's not a game. I can't remember who's making it. I want to say it might be. No, it's not Supermassive, but it's someone like that. Erica. Do you see that?
Yeah. The PlayLink.
PlayLink. So it's like got a lot of Sony backing with this PlayLink. Looks a lot like Hidden Agenda, but they're trying to kind of define this game as something completely different.
Yeah, I watched the developer studio on that one.
It's interesting,
and I was like, because obviously, so what they said is your game starts off with a traumatic event from your childhood, and that's kind of what sets everything into motion. And then based on your responses to it, you're not controlling a character, you're controlling a person's life. And I was like, that sounds interesting.
It's a movie where you get to decide what happens, but I just don't know like if there's like time limitations or anything. I would hope not. I think with a game like that, you really want to be able to stop and think about your decision.
Yeah.
But I know that when they have to play Link on, that there's a certain amount of like, okay, everyone has to fucking decide or whatever, otherwise they're never going anywhere. But single player, maybe they let you wait.
I'm interested to see it. It looks interesting.
I would totally play it.
I don't. All the PlayLink stuff in general has looked good so far. So
yeah.
They had Hidden Agenda, Hidden Agenda. I always confuse that and Impatient. Hidden Agenda, and you had That's You.
It's a sale for me.
And then you had what was the other one? There's another one.
Oh, it was a weird quiz.
It's a party
game.
one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that was called.
Which makes sense.
But I think that kind of I mean, even though like Sony basically is pushing these guys to do the PlayLink stuff, and I forget what the fucking developer was now, but it was it looked cool, and I thought it was at least worth mentioning. So
cool. Yeah. So what do you guys think? What was your favorite thing from Paris Games Week? And we didn't answer really what this means for PSX. There's nothing really like indie game that I can think of PSX.
That's the thing. I mean,
indie games kind of come out
traditionally at PSX. They have an indie segment. Like that's where they celebrate.
This was E3, the second half of E3.
Yeah, they build it as such.
It literally was the second half of E3. It was like, here's everything you saw at E3 again.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck.
Well, no, it was a lot of updates, and there was a lot of new IP in there as well.
I just wanted dates. I think that's why I was pissed. Is maybe
was a lot of
3 dates,
2018, but it's whatever. But the PlayStation experience is like. That's why I still, to this day, think they're going to do Move 2.0s there. Everyone on Reddit is laughing at me about that, but I'm like, I don't care. It's going to happen.
I'm laughing at you about it, too.
That's whatever. I can take it. But they usually have, like, an area in the middle of PSX specifically. They don't tend to do it so much in E3 or anything anymore, where they go, and we have partnered with a bunch of great new indie developers. Here's 6 of them. And then,
that GD can look for.
And they usually end up as the, like, I forget the name of it, where they have, like, if you get this, you get pre-order. If you get this, you get pre-order bonus. You get like money off all. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's like a 3-week sale, a 4-week sale.
Yeah. Like it's like
Play Together. Is it Play Together?
Every week it's a new game.
Does it play together? No, I don't think it's played together. I know what you're talking about.
Similar to that. But yeah, they tend to do that kind of stuff in there. And those are always great. Like, that's where I discovered stuff like Oxenfree and Abzu. And,
well, now it's me. That's where you find all this shit.
Well,
because I love indie games. That's we talked about it before, but the reason I run this podcast or host this podcast is because I am definitely way more the indie game guy. Mm-hmm. You're definitely way more the VR guy. Correct. And it's just like, I love playing indie games because I have massive ADD and I can play a game for 3 to 5 hours and be happy to be done with it. Versus like Destiny.
I mean, we both still like AAA. Oh yeah, it's not like we don't.
I'm playing the shit out of Destiny now. Right. Like I'm playing that. I'm still playing Elder Scrolls. I'm still playing Overwatch.
It's just that this is. I mean, everyone tells you about those games. Any other channel will tell you about Destiny 2 or about...
There's channels dedicated just to Destiny 2. Or Super Mario Odyssey.
Which is fine. I mean, it's not... I don't complain about those channels, but I think that when you're the size of what we are, then you should focus on, like, basically your equivalency in the gaming arena. So our equivalency as indie media in the gaming arena is indie games. So, especially VR, pretty much... Most VR games are indie. There's only a few that you would consider to be anywhere close to.
And we will discuss that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Codename Morpheus. By discuss, I mean I will yell at Tom and tell him he's wrong.
He's bland.
I need a "you're wrong" button or like sound effect somewhere. Like, you're wrong.
And I'll have one that says it's an opinion.
Well, it's the Staples button. That was easy.
Yeah. So I mean that's it was a fun week for indie games.
It was funny because leading up I was like, again, it was one of those slow. This is time of year is gonna be the slow news week year or slow news weeks part of the year. That's a lot. I got it. So I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? And I was like, oh yeah, Paris Games Week's happening. I'm sure there's gonna be something there. So I waited to see.
wasn't sure if we were recording before or after Paris Games Week, so I had a lot of content for Codename already. And then when they said they were doing Paris like before,
did you not? You're way different than I had it in my calendar. I was like,
I had it in, but I just couldn't remember like if it was before or after. I just assumed it was later. And so then, you know, I was like, ooh, actually, I'll have to cut half of this because Paris has got a whole lot of stuff VR related. So yeah.
That was Indie Please Details, episode 11. This is our weekly dip into the world of indie developers and indie games, where we discuss the news and our indie excursions throughout the week. Topping it all off with a topic of discussion that you can join in the comments down below. You can listen to us on your favorite podcast services. Maybe one. If you listen on multiple, that'd be weird because you have like multiple stereo.
Listen to us in podcast form.
There you go.
Yeah.
iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud. All those other ones that exist that I don't think of off the top of my head because I see those 4 every time.
And you can continue this discussion off air but online
on Twitter, Love2GamersSTL, or Discord, links down in the description below. Like I said, Discord is a good place if you guys want to game with us at any point. If I'm on, I'll gladly hop on with you guys. That's where we're at. That's where a lot of our Destiny clan is in our Discord. So it's funny.
Had a Destiny clan, so
yeah, we have 13 people. We're gonna merge probably though with David and Nate and Brian and all them because right now it's like we play together, so might as well get the full benefits of being one clan. But we're trying to debate how we're gonna name it because some of the people in the level 2 Legion don't want to change the name of it.
That's fair. I would just stick to level 2.
Yeah, but the question is, will they want to join?
No,
that?
I'm just
That's
saying.
The thing.
Just keep it separate.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that is Indie Please Details. Tomorrow, Codename Morpheus episode.
You know what? I wrote it in there, and then I couldn't remember when I went back to it whether it was real or not, so I took it out. I was like, I don't want to fuck it up. I'm just going to look at it before. But now you're embarrassing me on the first show.
I think 15?
I think 15 is what 15? I have written.
I don't know.
Let's go with 15.
It's your job. And then,
probably 15.
Podcast episode 45 will be on Friday.
Podcast did really well last week. See that? We got like 15, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, we did it right.
This week's going to be, heads up here, my podcast topic this week is going to be super deep. If you want to learn a lot about me, join in on Friday.
Ooh.
But thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, welcome to the second level. Bye.